Hi, my name is Sadie. Welcome back to my channel, Yin Reiki Light. And today I really wanted to do this video on the narcissist and empath dynamic and how it's related to false twins. I really wanted to talk about this topic. It's because I went through it myself, and I wish there had been a video or someone kind of on the path showing me or guiding me or explaining to me what to look out for before I went through this. A lot of things on this path can be challenging. It's kind of what I mentioned yesterday. Not everything is love and light. Oftentimes, as you're growing spiritually, you're ascending, you're growing on your path, you're opening your heart, you're healing, you're raising your vibration, your light will trigger darkness. However, darkness doesn't always outwardly confront you. Oftentimes, darkness is hidden. It's subversive, it's covert, it's underneath the surface of things, and it can be easy to be duped and manipulated, thinking that someone is of the light and of a high vibration when really they're just a narcissist. They're just a parasitic energy vampire that wants to use you. And so this happens a lot. I see this dynamic a lot when it comes to false twins. So what I want you to know and maybe pay attention to for your own path, your own self, is a lot of times when you meet different people on this path, they are more focused on their ego and more focused on what they can get from it and how they can get people to give them things or how they're able to manipulate people. They're not actually interested in learning, growing, healing, ascending, evolving. Okay? How you can kind of spot this is they will thrive on deception. Everything is a mask with them. When I met my false twin, initially, I didn't have any interest in him. He sought me out, and I kind of gave him a chance just because, again, I met him in a spiritual community. So I figured, okay, this guy's spiritual. He seems cool. But there wasn't initially a connection. But then he really drew me in, because he was very charming and was very intelligent, and he presented himself in a way that seemed like, wow, this person is incredible. I've never met anyone like this. I can learn so much and grow so much from this person. We started talking online, and then we met in person. And one of the things I noticed right away, like I said, I didn't have an initial attraction or interest in him at all. But one of the things I noticed right away when we met in person is that a lot of the things that he said to me when we were talking online were not true. So that's one of the main things you will see, is that they thrive on deception and manipulation, and a lot of the things that they present are not the case. And they have a story for every lie that they tell. But I mean, some people, I've seen it where they literally have lied about their name, their birth date, their family, their heritage, literally every single thing that they've said and everything that they present out is like a complete lie and fabrication. So why I'm bringing this up, though, is because empaths, as you are opening your heart, if you're a sensitive person, if you're a loving person, if you're someone who wants to heal, someone who wants to help, often attract narcissists and sort of parasitic energy vampire type people, because we are the givers, we are the lovers, we are the nurturers. My ego lesson that I had to learn, so we all have ego and spirit, okay? And so part of why I was continuing to attracted the false twin as a narcissist, but I also had other narcissistic relationships that I was involved in at the time. One was a boss, one was a friend at the time. And so why I was attracting these people, what the ego lesson was for me was that I always put everybody else first. I literally would give like the last $20 I had to someone on the street. I've driven sometimes 4 or 5 hours to pick someone up who needed a ride. I've spent most of my life putting romantic relationships, putting bosses, putting parents, children, everybody else on this pedestal and kind of putting myself last. And so what my ego was wanting from that, what I understand now from the dynamics and as I've healed and grown and I don't attract these dynamics anymore in my life, is that I had a real need to be needed. It was a need in me that I wanted to be needed by other people. And this had to do with my own self-worth and self-esteem and needing to really love and value myself more. But I didn't see it that way at the time. And so I, as the empath, was attracting these kind of parasitic people and situations because they were filling an ego need for me to be wanted and to be needed. And so the other thing is that the ego need of the narcissist on the other side of that is that they will seek out an empath. They will like purposefully seek you out because they need adoration, they need constant attention, they need constant affection. And so you as the empath, who's the lover, who's the giver, you're going to give them everything that they need in that moment to feel good about themselves. It becomes this very like imbalanced but very codependent dynamic that plays out between the empath and the narcissist. At the soul level, because we are always learning at both the ego level and the soul level. At the soul level, the lesson for me was I had to learn to set boundaries. I had to learn to be more assertive. I had to learn to say no. I had to learn to speak my truth and to stand up for myself. At the soul level, the lesson for the narcissist is to learn actually how to give, how to open up, how to be more caring, how to be more loving. But again, because the narcissist is at such a low level, a low vibration level, they only identify with their ego and they identify at the very basic aspect of the ego, which is called the id. And the id, its sole purpose is to seek pleasure. It's the pleasure seeker. And it only thinks about what feels good to me in this moment. What feels good to me in this moment. It has no other purpose than to feel good at all times. And so the narcissist and the empath, like I said, they'll do this weird imbalance of one person's always giving, one person's always taking. But it's codependent because at first it feels very satisfying. The narcissist is satisfied, and so they're happy, they're pretending to be happy, and you're very satisfied because you feel needed and you feel wanted. And so the reason why this dynamic really, really plays out a lot in the spiritual community and in twin flame relationships, not all twins, by the way, this is the false twin. So, but how you can see it playing out is because it's like the false energy wants to keep the light down. It's the negative energy, the lower vibrational energy. It starts to siphon the energy from the person who is the more light, who is the higher vibrational person. And it's wanting to take that light and consume it. And you can be tripped up on your path because of this dynamic. It happened to me, and once I finally ended it, it took a long time to do a lot of healing work because I didn't understand why I had attracted it. I didn't understand why I participated in it. After a while, when I start to see what it actually was, I was still kind of involved in it, and I didn't know, I really blamed myself for everything that took place. But what you have to understand is that even people who are on their path, they get duped. Like, we get duped. It happens in life. You cannot blame yourself, but you do have to learn what to look out for and learn how to protect yourself so that you don't fall into a false twin narcissist empath dynamic. I'm going to do a separate video on exactly what to look out for, the signs, the red flags, because there's a lot of them. But the one thing I want to end this video and say is, looking back, hindsight is always 20/20, but looking back, my intuition felt his energy right away. Like I said, I was not initially attracted to him. I was not initially, there was no real connection at first. And so why I want to share this is because if you're in a situation like that, or if, this comes, it ends up coming on your path and this situation kind of plays out, really pay attention to what you're feeling, not what anybody's saying, not what anybody's doing. Pay attention to what the energy feels like, because it was always off. It was always off. That's the one thing I can look back and I really see it now. I didn't see it at the time, but I really see it now. The energy between us was always off. I always felt like something was missing, but I couldn't quite pinpoint it. And I made excuses for his behavior and some of the things that happened because I didn't trust myself. Always, 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 always trust yourself. Trust your heart. Trust the vibe. It doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. Okay? So I'm going to do the second part of this video and kind of explain how, what to look out for, some of the signs, some of the red flags. Okay? Hope this video helped, and I will be posting the second part very shortly. Okay. Bye-bye.